We're good.
All right,
We
so
got the green hand.
yeah, you guys just went through an amazing ordeal. You learned a lot about yourselves, new enemies, and
Eldrick.
it was a very trying experience. But you triumphed, and you exit the cave, find the small gray cat. Eldrick puts it to sleep, and as a byproduct, Rezar also is put to sleep. What do you guys do?
I recovered the cat, and then
Okay.
also nudged Rezar with my foot to wake him up.
As you do that, Eldrick is running over, and he's like, oh dear," and he's like, he bends down, he's like, Rezar, I'm sorry, I did not mean for that to happen. I was just trying to put the kitty to sleep.
I just laugh. After that whole battle. You old coot! Newfound respect to Eldrick for burning that thing into a pile of oil.
Eldrick
We're
reaches
becoming
down to
friends.
help you up.
That's hilarious. Okay, so it works. I don't pull him to the ground.
Alright, so what have you done with the cat?
I'm just
Alana?
like holding it in my, like cradling it in my arms.
Okay. Cool.
I mean, how else do you hold a small cat? You hold it.
By the nape of the neck,
When it's asleep.
obviously.
Not by the nape of the neck.
Okay, so I'm assuming you guys want to walk like an Egyptian. No,
Definitely, like an
walk this
Egyptian.
way.
Fucking Bengals, baby.
Walk this way.
and then walk up here. Valana,
We keep pinging it.
would you like to go speak to somebody within the temple about this whole situation?
I
Probably
believe I would, actually.
With the sleeping cat in your hands.
With the sleeping cat in my hands.
And the pendant in your pocket. Don't want to turn those quests in.
My bag.
As they're all walking away,
Whatever.
as they are all walking away, Gearstrom completely loses track of what the hell is going on in his absent-mindedness, and actually begins to look for shells on the beach,
Oh, it's so cute.
specifically for closed shells that may have pearls in them, just because it's a thing his dad had told him.
You find 2 shells. Would you like to try to open them?
Yeah, I would try to open them.
With your new scimitar.
No, I would use my dagger, but yes.
Okay, you
So there.
open the first one with your dagger. Wow. And there is a very, very small pearl in this shell.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Motherfucker.
What
really
was the
small.
chance? What was the chance?
It was not very good.
Motherfucker says,
You open
wow.
the second shell,
Tell me another pearl.
and you find nothing.
Okay.
Okay. I sucked down the meat from the second shell.
All right. Not sure that's smart, being that it's beside a desecrated area, but sure.
Ah,
You suck
shit
it. You suck it on down.
Constitution saving throw.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
baby.
So Gershom finds his pearl, and he's like, I'm assuming he's like, hey guys, look, and he like runs up to you guys and shows
No
you the
one's
pearl.
there.
And anyway,
In my excitement, I notice everybody's gone.
do you catch up with the group?
Where'd
Gershom?
everybody go? Yeah, I start running up the hill with my small little legs.
All right, so Valana, do you want to speak about going to talk with somebody at the temple?
Yeah, I want to like maybe try to find that like attendant or whatever that was working the fields near the temple or whatever he was doing.
Yeah, he was
Little
he was
steward
like
boy.
trying to repair old stonework and cleaning off the stones and whatnot. So around now it's probably about noon.
Oh wow.
So you
Little bit
guys
of day
are
drinking.
also just. I'm not saying you need to go eat right now, but just a reminder, you're probably getting hungry, especially from a battle like that. The sun's overhead, and you approach the temple. Again, you see. You should have him in your list now.
The evil ginger boy.
His name is.
It's unnamed, but I do see the
Oh yeah, he is unnamed still because you did not ask his. All right, so you see him again. A little ways from where he was when you first saw him. That looks like he's worked his way around another tenth of the stone mace, the stone stony stone. He's worked his way around about another
The
10% of
stony
the
stones.
bottom of the temple.
I call out to him. Excuse me.
He turns, looks at you, and he's like, "Oh, hello there, hello there."
Hi. We just came from the beach down there. There's a cave, and directly underneath the graveyard over there is where some grave robbers...
His eyes start to get big, and his mouth gets wide as you continue.
Some grave robbers were down there. They appear to have been stealing and disturbing undead. The ground is desecrated, I believe. There were undead. We dispatched them.
As
However,
you're finishing this sentence, he takes off running inside the temple. And
however, just maybe tell your supervisors about it.
He comes out, back out with, let's see.
New character.
Sure, this is the right guy. Just a second.
Gotta check the notes.
It is. Okay. He comes out with this gentleman. And he walks down the steps hurriedly, and he looks at the boy beside him, and he's like, and he says something. You can't hear what he says, but then the boy points toward your direction, and he quickly rushes over to you, and he says, "Please, explain to me what you explained to him."
Okay. Down by the beach, there's a cave underneath the graveyard, desecrated ground. There was
Desecrated ground?
Oh,
you sure?
yeah. I
Yeah.
also found pearls on the beach.
And he found pearls. Anyway, there were undead we dispatched. A horrible shadow creature as well. It was terrible.
He looks bewildered by your story. It seems like he's almost checked out mentally after you said desecrated. He begins to tremble. You're not sure why. Roll an insight check.
Oh, wrong one.
Anybody else want to roll one? Is everybody in it? Except for Eldrick. A second roll for Eldrick.
I'm just engrossed in telling the story, man.
Okay. Yeah, so he says, "Oh my, this is going to be difficult." And he turns and he starts heading back into the temple. And you want to say anything as he's going back into the temple, or you just gonna let him do his thing?
Do you need anything for the cleansing of that, or I don't know the process.
He ignores you and walks into the temple, and the initiate is still down there with you guys. and he's just like kind of pacing. He's starting to look kind of scared as well, and this is probably making you guys uneasy as well. You're probably starting to. You don't really know what's going on.
I'm gonna talk to the boy. What is your name, young one?
Well, I don't have a first name anymore since I joined the temple, but you can call me Initiate Grayson.
All right, Grayson. Do you have any ale?
Oh no. We don't keep ale at the temple.
This
And about
sure
place
this
they
time,
bores me.
about this time, the doors open swiftly again, and you see
What do we see?
this man, and you hear the other man in the green robes calling him High Priest Jaren. So, Jaren walks down to you, and he looks at the party with a not really a scowl, but a very insightful stare. That was a natural one.
Plus 10.
But
Awesome.
yeah, so he walks up to you and he's like, "Please, young ones, tell me one more time. Did you say desecrated?"
Yes.
And he's like,
Well, what he actually said was zombies and a shadow, and there were guys that were down there stealing stuff from the graves.
But there's nothing to fear. They're all dead.
I look to look to Gearstrom and I say, he?
he says, the zombies and the shadows are byproducts of the desecrated land. I don't know how desecration came to be, but I will put a stop to it. He shuffles over to the area, like right here-ish. Let's see, right
Could it
here-ish.
have anything to do with the
And
grave robbing?
you guys, you don't know. And I don't think he really cares. He just wants to put a stop to it. He sees that depression in the ground. And I'm assuming you guys are you guys following him, or are you guys just not worried about it anymore?
No.
I might watch from a distance for a minute.
I've lost total interest and I'm walking back to the inn.
As have I.
Okay. Okay, so Rezar and Gearstrom are walking back to the inn, and Valana, you are hanging around to see what's.
Just for a minute to see what exactly his plan is.
Okay, so he walks close to the coast, and you see him stare off into the sea, and you can't tell what he's doing. You can't tell if he's saying anything. You're too far away. You don't really know what's going on, but suddenly you begin to see the seawater stir out far out, probably like this far out, which would be a good quarter of a mile from the actual coastline. And you can barely see it from your angle, but because it's far enough out, you can see it. I'll say you can see it. And it starts swirling, almost like a whirlpool. And suddenly, almost like it's an inverted whirlpool, the water swirls up out of the sea into this giant funnel, swirling and twisting in the air. The water now is swirling so fast, and it's arcing up over the high priest's head, and now it's reaching over the graveyard. You hear the water swirling so fast, it's cutting through the air, causing a whistling. You have no idea what in the hell is going on as this inverted funnel hangs above the graveyard, right above the hole.
Hearing this,
Right
I
about
turn
here.
around and see this giant fucking water whirlpool craziness and stop walking.
And at about this point, you see seaweed come bursting out of the mouth of this this torrent of water, just covering the entire this entire portion of the graveyard.
God damn.
Completely. And you see, after this happens, the whirlpool recede, the cyclone recede back to the water and dissipate, and you see a black mist ooze up from the seaweed and dissipate into the air. He turns and walks back to the temple, walking beside you. Do you say anything to him?
That was rather impressive.
He looks at you and he says, "My child, that was not me. That was Umberly. She does not take kindly to desecration on her property."
Noted.
And he walks back to the temple,
It's a nice party.
not
trip.
even going to check on the area. He has 120% faith. The problem is no more.
I want to turn to Grayson and say, Grayson, would you happen to know of a nearby...
Grayson's still sitting there looking like this right here at this whole thing. He's never seen this before, you can tell. He is bewildered.
Would you happen to know of a nearby pond?
I think you're going to have to slap him to step him out of it.
I approach him and kind of just nudge his shoulder.
He's like, oh,
Grayson.
oh, and he's like thinking to himself, you look at him and he looks like he's thinking to himself like, holy shit, like what just happened? And then all of a sudden his eyes like are like starstruck, like, man, I want to be like him one day. Like he looks like, you know, he wish he could do that kind of shit. And he's like, oh yeah, pond. And he just says, there's a pond up by Zarl Court. And that's all he says. And he darts off inside the temple.
Why does he want to find a pond? What's so special?
I
And-
shrug and start walking.
And yeah. So
Do I know where Zarl Court is?
you know, it's the kind of the northwest area of this village.
I'm making my way
Um,
towards that.
yeah, you just experienced
An act
Probably-
of God?
what would some consider a
An
minor,
act of a god.
a minor miracle.
Minor. Okay.
While all that was going on, I was oblivious to all of it, and I'm trying to weave the story of how our glorious band dispatched the zombie invasion that was going to destroy this town.
Don't forget about the shadow.
Of course, that was the leader.
Hell yeah.
It'll be an epic story.
I'm walking back to Velana to ask her what the hell just happened.
All right, you reach her.
He,
There you go.
I suppose, beseeched his god to solve the issue, and apparently did so.
I'm sure it was easy. Everything was dead. Again. Redead.
I just crack a smile and you're probably right. Continue walking towards this Zarl Court.
All right. Oh, you're going towards Zarl Court?
Correct, with Kitten in arms. It's
Okay, so what's
around
everybody-
noon, you said, right?
What's everybody doing right now?
I'm gonna go
I
back to
walk-
the inn.
I walked to the Fishbone Tavern because that's where we were headed.
As Rezar starts to break off or whatever, I just say, "Hey, Rezar, would you like to join me to take this cat back to Megan?"
Would you like a glass of wine?
Save me a seat.
All right, then. And I'm going to the inn. Because I want a well-deserved beer.
She's paying in hugs, man.
So which way do you go?
I think I would follow this path up this way, and work my way up north.
So you want to go this way?
Correct?
Okay. So you're moving this direction. At this crossroads, let's see here. Before you is a young man locked in a pillory. Does everybody here know what a pillory is?
Yep.
Nope. I just heard
A pillory.
Head and arms thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
when-
okay, yeah. The little shackle thing.
What you throw tomatoes at?
That's exactly what I was going to say, where you throw tomatoes at him.
Dark short hair, greasy and nasty with bits of food. He is sobbing as you approach, murmuring to himself that he doesn't want to lose his hand. He is able to see you coming from his position and
He's
says,
a thief.
"Well, go on then. Is it tomatoes or peaches?" As he closes his eyes and mouth.
I
I have neither.
How'd you wind up here?
He doesn't look interested in talking right now.
Then I disregard him and continue walking.
All right. Which way you want to go?
Probably this way. Yeah, that way.
Okay.
It's following what looks like the main road.
All right. I'm assuming here you go to the right.
Is there anyone around?
Oh yeah, there's people everywhere, man. Kids running, mostly children and women. Most of the men you gather are probably working, either on the docks or they're fishermen and they're fishing.
Yeah, I just want to stop someone. Excuse me, do you know where the pond is from here?
Hello, hello. The only pond I know is straight down this road, and she points to the northwest, and she says, "It's past the bridge and up on the hill to the right." And that's all she says.
Thank you. I head northwest.
Pond. Okay.
Yeah, you keep heading down this large main road.
Wait, that's east, isn't it? Wait.
Yeah, my bad. I said the wrong
Alright.
wrong direction.
Pond for noon tea. I guess it's that time.
And as you get right about here-ish,
Wait, where's here?
you notice the houses becoming larger and not necessarily newer, but
Oh, we're up here now.
better
Okay.
build quality.
Fancier.
And then you reach this bridge. Would you like to cross it?
Yes.
What about
You
trolls?
cross the bridge. You're on top of the hill,
There's pond.
and
These are nice houses.
what you see? There's a pond about 200 feet away, right about here-ish, and you think you see two figures close to the water's edge.
What do they look like?
By now it's closer to one, probably.
A little late for
Took
noon
you
tea.
it took you about 30 minutes or so
Okay.
to get over there. Rezar and Gearstrom, what are you guys doing?
I'm in the bar drinking.
I'm eating lunch.
Who's got all the money?
Me? I still have a few pieces of gold. We never did discuss that. I was going to say we each take 40 gold pieces.
Yeah, I mean, if someone wanted to like split it up then and there, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I probably would have just, held on to it for dealing with later. But if we want to just split it up, 40 each.
So everybody takes 40 gold pieces then?
Yeah.
Okay, let me add that to...
Plus the 25 silver.
I'd say that goes to Eldrick. He got the last hit. He got the kill.
Sure.
The last
Works
hit
for
isn't
me.
the only hit that counts, though. Every hit counts, right?
I didn't even... I hit it once.
I hit it twice.
You were like stuck on the other side of the fucking cavern like almost the whole fight.
Sure, but he calls out to me. He's like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "I'm trying to get there." And he's like, "I guess it's up to me then." Firebolt! 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 And just keep sitting at there.
Fireball!
All right, well, you guys can sort it out later, but for now, I'll just add the 25 silver to Drick's character sheet.
You're welcome, Jeremy.
Okay. Rezar, you have all the weapons and everything on you.
I have the
Except
rapier and
for-
one of the short crossbows.
And
Okay. Make sure to
yo.
put that to your character sheet, Valana.
Oh shit.
And Rezar, make sure you get a copy from somebody of what exactly you do have. So if you want to keep anything or sell anything or trade anything, you know what you have to trade, sell, or keep.
Oh fuck! What'd I do? Nay.
So I got the crossbow
That's
like
not what I
stored
wanted.
in my bag, and then the rapier's just on my belt or whatever.
Did anyone write down what we got? Because I didn't get a chance to add that to my.
Yeah, I got it all. Two
You can-
scimitars, one rapier, one short sword, 2 daggers, 4 light crossbows, 20 bolts, which I also have, and the small jewel.
We can worry about it if you guys actually go to sell it. For now, since you're not doing anything with it, we'll just continue on.
Okay.
Yeah, I have it in my treasure section on my.
Okay, Rezar and Gearstrom. So you guys enter the tavern.
Oh, yep.
You to the tavern, and yeah, people were drinking. It's only noon. You feel like most of the men here are probably unemployed or they're on the lunch break. And not very many women, like last time. You enter, and Rezar, you order a drink, you said?
Yep. I get an ale. 2.
All right. You asked for 2 L's. Tasha is the innkeeper still. I'm sure you remember what she looks like. She's like a feisty, short-haired woman.
Like a monk.
And Gearstrom, what are you doing again?
I asked for their
Very
lunch special and a glass of milk, and then I will take it all upstairs with me to my room because I'm to work on my arrows, repairing my arrows.
Okay. I don't remember if I told you this or not, but you guys are paid up for room and reasonable amounts of drink and food. So she doesn't ask for any money, at least not right now. And Gearstrom, you head up to your room, and Rezar, you're just going to continue to drink.
Yep. I'm gonna drink a few and then go take a nap.
All right. Understood. Okay. Let's
Go back to Valana.
unless you guys would do something in particular, I'm going to go back to Valana.
Not really. I'm happy with the fight. I have no reason. I'm not drunk yet, so it's also new. There's no really reason for me to get all excited about my battles. Maybe the 5th one I would, but I'm hurt. I'm gonna go sleep.
I'm just thinking about the fight that we had with the zombies and the shadow, and what I can possibly make that would assist in a fight like that.
Holding my gold tooth.
And I'm thinking maybe some sort of a holy water canister arrow that would burst like a water balloon in my mind. That's just, and I start to sketch that on a sheet of paper.
This character's so
All right.
fun.
Let's see, what is this? Sure. Valana, you approach the pond,
I'm sure you two will tell me what
and
this song is.
there is in fact 2 women close to the pond's edge. One older woman and a young girl.
I already don't trust him.
Is the cat still in your arms?
Yep.
What
Imagine
is
still
the
sleeping?
duration of sleep?
An hour, I believe. If he's still concentrating on it, I guess.
Okay.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
10 minutes.
So, just for
Guilt?
Yeah. Duration of sleep is. Stand by 1 second to get to my quick. Bum, bum, bum. 1 minute. That's it.
Oh.
So as you were walking up the road earlier, right before you got to the well, I'll just make it easy and I'll just say after you left the temple, the cat begins to stir. I just
I'm
want
just
you to make an animal handling.
Oh boy.
Hey.
When it comes to, it scratches at you.
Oh damn. Never mind. No A's.
I'm just trying to like comment and stuff.
Damn.
For two damage, and
Down goes Valana to the
Draw.
cat.
draws some blood off your hand, and you're kind of surprised. But after this happens, and you react compassionately, the cat feels more at ease, and stops scratching at you. Roll another animal handling check. Okay, so after a few minutes of trying to woo it and
Cats are
playing
assholes.
nice with it, basically, you're able to calm it down and hold it without it trying to run away. So, as you approach the pond, you see
I finished my caffeine. Curses.
this woman.
I'm probably hobbling at this point because I'm pretty fucking injured.
And she is looks like she's doing book studies, teaching this young girl. Let's see, young girl.
She cute.
Did I not? She is. And this is kind of a goofy picture, but it's really hard to find young girls' pictures on the internet for some weird reason.
Monka S.
Probably has something
Chris
to do
Hansen.
with.
Shh. He doesn't mean it.
Have her seat right over there.
So she just looks like, probably like a 8-year-old girl, dark hair, not anything that stands out too much, but she is dressed in pretty nice attire, especially compared to the children you've seen running around on your way here. What do you do?
Is Eldrick with me, or did he go to the bar as well?
Eldrick is old and tired. He went to the bar.
Okay. I approached them.
His plan all along was to come to Zara Quarter around 5, so he was probably very determined to do that. You know him.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know I'd do that.
As you approach,
Sorry.
The child sees in your arms her kitty cat, and she yells out, "Mr. Whiskers!" And her hands go up in the air, and she runs full steam to you, and reaches out with wide, doughy eyes, grabbing at Mr. Whiskers.
I hand him to her.
The older woman's like, "Megan, what are you doing? Don't do that. Don't get near strangers like that." And she kind of approaches, and she sees that you have the cat now, and Megan's like holding the cat up like this, spinning around in circles, like, "Wee, Mr. Whiskers, I missed you." And the cat's just like, meow, almost. It looks like it would have rather stayed wild, but she seems happy. And the woman says, "Oh dear, you found her cat. Thank you so much." And how do you respond?
It wasn't a problem. Well, that's not entirely true, but happy to do it.
And at this point, Megan puts the cat down and runs over to you. She's like, "Don't forget your reward!" She reaches out and she hugs your leg, and you can feel all the love and compassion of a small child. And your heart kind of melts a little bit. At this time, make a perception check. You notice this building right here has 2 guards out front, 2 militia, and judging by the general look of the building, you would guess it's probably something to do with militant operations, maybe like a barracks or something along those lines. And the door opens, and out walk 2 men. The first man looks like this right here, and you hear the soldier to his right calling him Lord Zarl.
Oh my.
The soldier to his right, whom you have not heard the name of yet, looks similar to this.
Oh my. That sword.
I can
Ooh.
tell that's a badass shield.
Right?
And they're walking down this path, and they're both very preoccupied with talking to each other. And Lord Zarl looks over in your direction, and he seems interested. So they begin walking towards you. What do you do?
I don't remember his name. Fuck.
Nothing in particular. I guess I just say to the girl, be careful not to lose him again.
As he approaches, the soldier stands back, and Lord Zarl comes up to you and looks down at Megan, and he says, "Daughter, what are you hugging this stranger's leg for?" And she turns around, she's like, Daddy, she found my kitty!" And he turns and looks and sees the cat. He's like, "Sure enough, she did." And he walks up to you and reaches out his hand to shake your hand.
I grab it and do the female thing.
Shakes it.
Does that mean you
firmly.
shake his hand, or does that mean you curtsy?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, that one, the female thing, drops to your knees and sucks his dick.
He says, "I cannot believe that you found this cat. We've been looking for this thing high and low for 3 days."
Not
And
well enough.
he says, "Your
Yes, well, it was a
investigative
bit-
skills must be very superior."
It was a bit harrowing, I have to admit.
Okay, if you have anything you want to say to him at this moment, you have garnered the ear of the lord of this village for the time being.
Am I to assume you're Lord Zarl then?
He says, "Yes, yes. My name is Gregory Zarl. I attempt to run this meager village."
I have a group of, call them acquaintances, who I suppose would like to speak to you. I believe we have an appointment for around 5, perhaps? I don't know exactly what that entailed, but you know, I don't have all the details.
What
I
about
just
your
know-
hand? Is your hand still uncovered?
I mean, if I found gloves, I would probably be wearing them, but
You didn't find gloves.
then it's uncovered.
Okay, as you speak about your party and an appointment, he kind of eyes you up and down and trying to size up if you have any ulterior motives and that sort of thing. He sees your hand and the symbol on it, and you see his eyes twitch just a little bit, and he says, "All right, I'll make sure I'm in my study around 5 p.m. I normally make rounds around 4 throughout the different districts, but I believe I should be there around 5.
Thank you very much for making the time
if-
for me.
If," he says, "if Mr. Grant tries to deny you entrance, tell him this," and he reaches over and whispers in your ear the word "tree bark." And yeah, that's it. And he turns and walks back to the large, knight-looking gentleman, and they walk, walking away to this area over here.
Tree bark.
I'm gonna follow this road south and try to make my way back to the inn.
That's
All right.
how it goes back.
You have no problems reaching the inn.
Another 30 minutes.
I go in and I see Rezar.
Nope, I'm in bed.
Oh,
Damn. I'm
Don't wake him up again, please.
no! I was hoping he was still chugging because I wanted to take one of his beers, but I go in. I take a seat at the bar or whatever. Order some wine and food, and casually ask about this CP fellow.
again.
All right.
More information.
You ask the tavern keeper, Tasha, about. So what do you say to her?
Excuse me, miss. I've come across
Yes,
something
yes.
on the missive board outside regarding a CP.
Yes, yes, he's staying in one of the rooms here.
If I could speak to him, I believe I've recovered what he was seeking.
She walks over to a ledger and looks at it, reading it, and she's like, "Okay, let me see what you've recovered."
I pull out the purple amulet.
Okay, it looks like she's comparing it to something in her ledger, and she says, "Okay," and she tells you the room number, and tells you that she thinks he is in his room.
Okay, I finish my meal and then... Where's Eldrick and... I guess everyone else is just like, in
Eldrick's
their room or whatever.
Eldrick's probably in his room, studying something.
I don't know if I should hand these things in without the rest of the group present.
It's up to you.
I'm kind of in a lot of pain, and I think I'm just gonna go take a nap.
Okay.
I have the room number, like, in mind or whatever anyway, so I can do that later. But I'm gonna go take a nap.
Yeah, you're probably like, I mean, I didn't really do anything with it, but you're probably like bloodied up and like looking pretty rough.
I mean, definitely, like, not, like, definitely looking exhausted. Probably a couple wounds that are maybe a little bit bleeding, but also, I don't know. Probably using prestidigitation to keep my apparel looking at least somewhat clean.
Just a digit fucking tation.
Sean, just checking to make sure you're not muted.
No, it's for the camera.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, we're
okay.
good.
All right. Okay. So, yeah. I mean, you go to your room. You guys
And
are all in your rooms.
would this just be a short rest? Because we're, like, it's about 1, you said? So,
Yeah, it would definitely be a short rest.
okay, I'm going to take probably all of my hit dice, but we'll see.
Okay.
Yep. Sweet.
Rezar, would you like to roll your hit die recovery for a short rest?
Sure, what do I roll?
There's a hit dice section there. You can click the hit dice words to
Yep.
roll it.
Nice.
Naturally.
Woo! Let's
You'll
go,
15
baby.
points. You
Yes,
have
you
you get
got
2
rolls
hit
for
dice because you're
yourself?
level 2. No, yeah, well, yeah.
Well, if I mean, 15.
When
hit
you
points,
level
but-
up to 3, you'll have 3 hit dice.
I mean, 15 health would.
You guys haven't leveled up yet. You won't be leveling up till after a long
Correct.
rest.
So I just give
So
myself
that's why-
15 more health points, but max out at 26.
Yeah, you heal 15 up to your total or whatever.
Now we're good. Full health, baby.
Gerstrom, would you like to roll a hit die
Ridiculous.
recovery?
I don't think you took damage.
No, I the damage I took my temporary hit points only actually down 2, so I'm not worried about it.
I'm not even at full.
Let me see. That reminds me, I need to just check this.
Just for fun. Just for fun.
Okay. You no longer, Gerstrom, you no longer have a reduction on your strength.
Oh, mine was reduced as well.
Yeah, nobody has. If you took a short rest, nobody has a um, strength reduction more.
Cool.
I rolled a 12 and then an 11.
Okay. What'd you say, Rezar? Why'd you roll your second hit die?
Because I was told I had 2. It was just for fun. And then I rolled an 11, so pretty damn close.
So you get half of your hit dice back when you complete a long rest.
Yeah, I'll say he didn't spend it because he was already full.
Yeah, just to be clear, you get half of it rounded down back on a rest.
Okay.
So what he's saying is, if you spent 1 hit die, you would be back to full. And if you spent 2 hit die, you would be back to 1 at level 2. But since you guys be leveling up, I'm just gonna reset everything for you.
Okay.
If you actually get to level up this session. But anyway, okay. So what were we doing?
Napping.
Working on my arrows.
Why the hell is it still?
All right.
It must be on his side or Tyler's side.
Why are
Anybody
you muted?
want to interact with anybody else, or you guys just want to continue to hang out, or what?
I probably want to get up, like, early enough that we can speak to the CP guy before we go and do the Zarl thing.
Okay, yeah. So, you guys are just chilling in your rooms. It's probably getting close to 3:30-ish now p.m. And just as you're thinking it's probably time to get up and start moving, Valana, you hear a knock at your door.
I get up and answer it.
And lo and behold, it's Eldrick. He's like, Valana, we should probably get moving on this CP character, this amulet.
I pull the amulet out of my bag and I agree. I have his room number right here.
And he's like, oh, good. You're ahead of the game.
I figured you'd want to be present for that.
Definitely.
While this is happening, I wake up to pee, and then I head back to the inn or the bar. I also.
Okay, yeah. So,
I suppose I'll take this time to knock on Gearstrom's door.
yeah, Eldritch accompanies you. Gearstrom, you hear knocks on your door.
Oh my god.
Just a moment.
I continue knocking.
I said just a moment.
A little bit louder.
Oh my. Can't you let a gnome work? I put everything down and I run to the door. I open the door, I look up, and I go, my, you have no patience.
I just dangle the necklace in front of his face. Care to join us while we turn this in?
No, I'm very busy right now. Go ahead.
I
I'll
turn
be
and
here.
walk away.
I'm very busy right now.
All right. So Gerstrom stays in his room. Rezar, you hear a knock at the door.
I'm at the bar. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, if he
Yes.
he was probably like walking past us or something. I don't
Well,
know.
if you're walking down the hallway,
Okay, so I get
Valana,
stopped.
Valana, do you say anything to Rezar?
Rezar, come with us.
Okay.
So yeah, you guys,
And we make our way to room.
you find that this room
59.
is on the 3rd floor of the
At 314. I knew it.
Tavern, and you approach the door. what do you do?
I look at Eldrick.
I knock on the door.
All right.
You hear a crack.
You hear somebody say, "I didn't order anything. Now, please go, go, go."
I guess I'll take this pendant then.
You hear something fall inside the room, and you hear small feet shuffling across the floorboards. And the door opens up just a crack. You see a small eye down about waist level looking up at you.
I enter the room. I just push the door past him.
Okay, so you push the door, and it catches on the
Latch
chain,
lock?
the latch lock thing.
I take it you have many enemies?
He looks at you, and he's like,
I look at him too.
and he's like, "Oh!" And his eyes wander, and he
I
sees
present the
Valana.
amulet.
He sees Valana, and do you have the amulet out right now?
Yeah, it's in my hand, like dangling off my...
Okay, so his eyes wander over to Valana, past Razar's bulky frame.
I
And
rage.
he meets eyes with Valana, and he's like, "Oh!" He makes a weird noise, and you have no idea what the heck's going on.
I
And,
rage.
I just think to myself, great, more gnomes.
Did you say you rage, Razar?
I did. It was a joke. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I push the door harder.
And he closes the door, and you hear the latch unlock. And he opens it, and he shuffles over in front of you, Alana, really quickly. And he doesn't even grab the amulet. Grab toward the amulet. He grabs your other hand. He grabs your hand, and he's like, "Oh, oh my, oh my, oh my!" And he starts caressing your skin, and he's like, your skin is beautiful." And then about this time, he notices the amulet, and he's like, "Ah!" And he reaches for the amulet, and he attempts to pull it out of your hand.
I
Allow it. Allow him to-
relinquish it and kind of step away from him, because hopefully not into Eldrick either. Away from them both.
Okay, so you relinquish the amulet, and he's this little gnome, which looks like this.
I can't scroll in. I can't get zoomed.
He spins around in a circle with the amulet in his hand. He's like, "Oh my goodness!" And he notices Gearstrom. Actually, he doesn't. Gearstrom's in his room. And he runs back into the room, and he's like, and he goes over near the window. And he like holds it up against the sunlight. You guys want to do anything in particular while he's doing this?
Just observing.
I'm just watching.
Okay. Okay. So, he's doing this, and then he quickly looks back your way, and his eyes narrow, and you hear him say, "Form like mist, slip and twist," and poof, he's gone.
That fucking rat!
What do you do?
I barge in the room.
Balana, roll a Arcana check. You believe he casted something similar to Misty Step.
Okay, so he must... Wait, do I know? I imagine I know what Misty Step is, given that.
You've heard of it. You know it's sort of like a teleportation spell.
And I understand it probably to be short range. So I'm looking.
Yeah, you think it's shorter range.
So yeah, I just start like looking around the area to see if I can spot him out.
Okay.
What, do you make any noise? That I could like listening for? Could be listening for. For which I could.
All right, so you guys. I'm not gonna move your tokens over because, well, I guess I could. It's pretty easy.
It's awfully quiet.
Lana. And Rezar. Eldrick. All right. So back to
Okay, top middle. Top middle again.
you see this room you're in?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. To the south of the room, there are two windows, and he had jumped up on this this desk right here, letting the light shine in through this window right here.
I could smash the table.
I want to look out the window and see if I can spot him.
Okay, so you run over to the windows. You want to move your character? You can.
Is there any way for us to determine if he's still in the room with us?
Sure, you can make a perception check and an investigation check.
That didn't work.
Rezar, you don't see, smell, or hear.
So the
Small
investigation is pointless.
Well, investigation is actually walking around and prodding things and like, while perception is just using your senses basically, besides touch. So, as Vana moves over to the window, Rezar is rifling through the bed. I'm assuming underneath the bed, looking behind stuff, and Valana. Rezar, you don't find anything. Valana, as you look out the window, you see this like awning from the second floor, and then you see the ground down below. And you guesstimate that it's possible he could have reached the ground. But looking down from here, you do not see him.
That fucking bastard.
Seems we may have made a mistake giving that back.
So, Rezar, as you're rifling through things, as Valana, you find some very interesting parchment on this desk. Would you like to investigate further?
I'm gonna hand it to her. I can't read unless it's. I can't read anyway. Right.
Okay. Let's see here. So do you get her attention, or like
I grab the paper
interacting?
and tell Valana, I found some scribblings, Valana. Would you care to read them?
I turn to him and I grab it out of his hand.
My work is done, boys.
So, first thing you notice, Valana, is this. Let's see here.
Real quick, does Rezar go back to like searching for this gnome in the room?
I don't know. Does he?
100% do. I'm looking through the chest next to the bed.
I look at him curiously.
I'm lifting the bed with one arm, looking underneath.
I look at him curiously and I just say, he's not invisible. It was a short-range teleportation spell.
Doesn't hurt to be thorough.
I shrug and look down at the paper.
Okay. All right. So the first paper, the first parchment you see, is actually a drawing, and it has a signature. Do you read Gnomish?
I guess not yet.
Negative! Well, Dwarven.
Okay.
Gnomish is Dwarven script, right?
So you're not really sure what his. You assume this is his name, but you're not really sure what it is. You figure you'll have to show Gearstrom to piece together his name. But on the parchment, this is what you see. It is a portrait from a vantage point in the great room of the tavern, drawn yesterday when you were all first sitting at the table. Back whenever, I'm sure you remember, because Eldred grabbed at the butt of Jade that time.
Yep.
It is strange because you definitely don't recall seeing a gnome besides Gearstrom. At first, you are taken aback by the beauty of the drawing until you become alarmed by what you see. At the table where you were sitting, everyone is missing their head, except Valana. Not because they weren't drawn, but because they are strewn about the nearby floor. On another piece of parchment is a phrase written over and over again, and you don't know what it says.
Wish I could read this. I roll it up and put it in my bag.
And now you kind of put together whenever he like squinted his eyes looking your way, like it wasn't really a you didn't realize at the time, but now that you think about it, it was a very malicious looking gaze before he spoke those spell words.
It's gonna be really funny at level 3. Not to. Sorry for interrupting the flow.
I know! Can we just not?
At level 3, she'll be able to read the words, but if someone speaks Dwarvish to me, I can understand them, and she can't. It's like, okay, talk to me. I can talk to you. I can't read what you write down, but she can. It's a very nice synergy there.
So Gnomish isn't the Dwarvish script? Is that how you're treating it?
Aren't Gnomish and Dwarvish two different languages?
Gnomish speak is different, but I believe the script is supposed to be this the same as Dwarvish.
For now, we'll just say it's different. I'll research it later.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
All right. So, just to put things into perspective, this picture is very graphic, and seeing that this small gnome definitely knows magic, you are very alarmed. You try to convey this to Rezar that this is a dangerous situation.
I snatch a paper
Definitely
back.
can't trust that guy.
I'm gonna look at the picture. I can't read, but I can see pictures, obviously. And I'm just gonna get really angry. Really angry. By the fact...
like red camera angry?
Shiza. There it is. Why do you still have your head?
Now, Valana, you're thinking about the fact that he grabbed your hand and was rubbing your skin, praising it so highly.
Buffalo Bill
I
style.
think I grabbed my hand, like, disgusted, like... Ugh.
All right. So you guys will need somebody to read this gnomish script before you continue.
I wonder if Gearstom can read.
Yeah, maybe. I go back and I go back downstairs and I knock on Gearstrom's door.
Gearstrom, you hear...
Gilly boy. Gilly baby.
I knock louder.
Gilly bo Billy.
Gil, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
They're knocking on your door, buddy.
1 minute.
Opportunity's knocking. I knock louder. And faster.
I open the door.
I keep knocking.
And I kick her in the shin as hard as I
Okay. See how that works out. Valana, roll an acrobatics check.
Okay. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
You get shin kicked by Gearstrom.
Ow!
You
Read
shouldn't
this
be.
stupid paper.
You shouldn't be so rude.
My hand hurts a little bit.
I take the paper from her.
All right, there's two different papers. You take them both?
Yeah.
Okay. So, did you hear my description of both papers?
Negative.
Fuck.
Valana.
Is it because you were sleeping?
Yep.
Valana, will you,
In
will
real
you
life,
explain
not in game.
him the pictures and the papers?
Yeah. Do you want me, like, actually to explain to him?
Hmm?
Okay,
Just explain what he sees.
So there was a picture with a name. The picture depicted us sitting at a table the night that we arrived at the inn. Everyone but Valana is missing their heads because they're on the floor around the table. And then the other page, there's one line repeated several times, you said, I believe?
Yep, a phrase over and over again.
One phrase. There you go. In Gnomish.
So, looking at the drawing, Gearstrom, you discern that the name written on this drawing is Chisglint Plinkerton.
Plinkerton. I had a teacher named Pilkington.
Okay. I tell the rest of the group that that's the name. And then I read the saying that's written over and over and over again.
Okay. I'm adding the name to the handout now. Alright, and the saying written over and over again is...
Chisglint Plinkerton.
Mine, comma, forever.
Oh my god!
I definitely get chills when he reads that and shudder a little bit.
And this isn't just like a line like in uniform across over and over again. It's like upside down, left and right, upside, like very chaotic, like all.
Where did you find this?
When we delivered the amulet, he casted a spell. I believe it was Misty Step. You may have heard of it. He left. We couldn't locate him. Rezar actually found this on his table, making certain that he wasn't invisible in the room.
What did he look like?
A dick. I guess I would describe his physical appearance.
And you should have the handout now, Gil, underneath Hortons are all NPCs. It's Chisglint Pinkerton.
Yep.
And yeah. That's it.
And you said he disappeared?
Teleported.
What did he do? What did he say?
Creepy things. He touched me, took the amulet, and left.
He may be invisible.
He's not invisible.
We can't rule anything out.
That's true. He could be invisible. He didn't go invisible in front
I
of
should smash everything in that room.
I agree.
I'll be right back.
About this time, you guys noticed that Eldrick has been kind of like pacing and like looking all like, you know, Eldrick-like.
Jealous.
And and he's like, "Oh no, 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 no! This can't be good. This seems bad. This seems bad." That's all he really says.
Is Rezar actually going back to the room to smash shit up?
I don't know. Is he?
I'm back.
How was the smashing?
Well, he's not the bed or the chair or the table. He may have been the chest. I heard some noise, but it could have been a rat. But no, I suppose he was not in that room.
So,
I'm impressed at your restraint.
Rezar, you also found nothing else of interest in the room.
Good to know.
Yeah. So, basically, if you guys want to figure out what's going on here, the only course of action to this point would be to go down and try to track behind the inn and see if you can pick up on his tracks. See maybe if you can see where he went or what he did or which way he was heading or anything of that nature.
How much time do we have?
It's only been about, let's see, I said 3:30, right? So it's
Yep.
only been about another 10 minutes since then, so about 3:35.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go yell at Tasha to figure out who the hell that guy is and why he thinks
Yeah, I'm gonna stay with
that
him,
little
actually.
fucking gnome can behead me.
Okay, so you head downstairs and you walk up to Tasha.
I'm not.
I try to
asking her
get
anything.
the papers back from Gearstrom as well.
All right, Gerstrom, are you going to stay in your room or are you going to follow them?
No, I follow them.
Okay.
As Rezar is going up to Tasha to yell at her, I just like slip the picture onto the counter in front of her and silently observe as Rezar yells.
Who the hell is that gnome in room 3? What was it? 14? 41?
314.
314!
Tasha, having you approach her super aggressively, leans over very politely and says, "You better calm down."
I grab the picture
Now.
and throw it in her face. Like, show her. Who?
She looks at the picture and she says, "Wow, that's pretty dark." And she says, "I've never seen the gnome before."
Oh, so he just got in the room for free?
No, I mean before he got the room, obviously.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah. She's like, "He was a first-time customer. I don't know. There was no fuss, nothing out of the ordinary that I could tell."
Maybe we should have background checks for boarding. Oh. Well, I'm... As a player, I feel embarrassed. My character's annoyed. So
This is most certainly out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I'm just going to storm out. Look for tracks. I'm going to track this little fucker and beat him over the head with my maul.
Yeah, you guys get the feeling that the only interaction that Tasha had with him
was money.
Just paying for the room and maybe buying a meal or something. Like, very minimal interaction.
Little snake.
So you guys all want to head around back?
Yeah.
For tracks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm letting Rezar lead this investigation.
Okay. Rezar. You round to the backside of the tavern. And let's see. Right about there.
My mistake. Wrong click.
And yeah. Do your thing.
Roll survival.
Yep. First of all, I want all of you to roll. That's fine. I want all of you to roll perception checks. Okay, so when you approach the area and you look around, you don't see anything unusual as far as like objects or things he might have dropped or anything like that. Valana, I assume, kind of points out the area where she thinks he might have teleported to, and Rezar starts looking in that area, and he picks up on the trail of Chisglint Plinkerton.
I know the stench of obsession.
And
I shudder again.
It just heads west. Well, on this map, it heads west. So I'm going to move you guys to...
So it would head...
this map.
East.
And on this map, it heads...
East.
This way. To the main road. Right here. There is a hitching post along the way, designed for horses and things like that. So you reach the hitching post, and you lose track of his trail. So you gather that he probably got on a horse.
I imagine there's a lot of hoof prints here.
Oh yeah.
So tracking them is going to be impossible.
Well, not necessarily. There are no other horses. There's only like 2 on this hitching post, as there's not a whole lot of reason to use horses, at least not in this particular environment, in this particular area. Most people can just walk around town, right? So
hold for high roll. I'm gonna track.
You can give me another survival check, please.
Come on high. God damn it!
So long luck.
Extremes, baby.
So
fuck, man.
Still got that inspiration?
I do, actually. I'm using the dragon.
Use the dragon!
I'm using the dragon. It's unchecked. Let me reroll. Survival. Not much.
So, you
Waste of a dragon.
you do see a fresh You see two fresh set of horse tracks in the area. They're close enough to each other that you're not sure which one is fresh. One leads to the west. One leads to the east.
Coin flip.
And that's about it.
Heads is west. Okay, well.
I point both directions. He went one of those ways.
I just flipped a coin. I said head goes east.
He went that way.
I'm going west.
Valana, why don't you roll survival just for shits and giggles?
Come on, Valana. Extremes!
And
Tell me it's enough. Come on. So I'm going west if not. Okay.
Eldrick spends a lot of time looking at this hitching post and these hoof prints. He's like pacing. He's like, well, I'm no Rezar, but looks like this and maybe this and that, and then he looks up at you, Rezar, and he's like, I believe I've deduced that the gnome on the horse went to the east. And he looks like he's not sure if he's he's not sure, but that's what he says.
You better be right about this, old man. And I just start running east. Although I could, one of y'all could probably take a horse.
So yeah, there's not very many horse tracks heading east. Follow the track that you saw, and it turns right here at Bannister Farms. Continues this way, and continues this way, and heads into the southern woods.
I don't give a damn about an appointment. I'm going after this gnome.
And by this time, everybody else is like trying to catch up with you. They're like, Rezar!
Is there any chance we can like deduce based on the distance of the hoof prints how quickly the horse is moving?
Yeah, I mean, it's moving faster than you can move.
Is it trotting or galloping? Is this man trying to get
the
hell out of there?
Or is it a decanter?
Well, I mean, it looks like it got about here, and then it started slowing down.
Okay.
To a canter? Or a trot?
Slower.
Horse walking speed.
Slower than a gallop.
Probably a trot then.
Sorry, we don't all know horses, Zach.
I don't either. I'm kind of just like guessing a little bit.
I was like, what the fuck's a canter? I've heard of horses trotting.
It's like
galloping,
straight up like
it.
like slow walking. I believe is what canter is.
The interesting thing is, right about here, Rezar, which is where you're currently at, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Trot would be a run.
You see it pick up back into a gallop. Full speed. Now only one set of tracks, because no other horses have entered these southern woods in at least a while.
Sorry, canter's between a trot and a gallop.
That's why I thought. Like trot is like the slowest one. It's like a skip. Anyway.
So the trot or the canter would be the run, and then gallop would be a sprint.
Well, I fully intend on tracking these fucking horse prints. I'm going to smash this dude's head in We turned in the quest, he ran away, and then I see he wants to behead me. It fills me with rage to think that this little gnome has a thought that he could ever defeat me, and I'm going to, just go ahead and nip that in the bud.
Rezar, I think he may be moving too fast for us to catch up at this pace.
Only if you slow me down.
Perhaps we can find him later. We know his face.
You mean the invisible one?
Proceed.
By now, it's about 4:15-ish.
This is my thinking face. Sorry.
We have an appointment with a very important person.
As they're
Just
discussing,
remember that.
as they're discussing all that, I go to the barn and check off Smash
Oh, that's so.
slash
What, Ash?
slash.
All right, so you don't see any of the work or Luke or Jeb in the area, and you go over to the barn, and Slash is still sitting there. Some bird poo on his shoulder, but it.
Well, after thinking about it, and muttering to myself, if I see that little man again, I will smash his skull without a second thought. And I decide not to chase down the tracks.
All right.
But
What do you guys do?
I just follow Volana.
I head back to the road to try to catch up to them, let them know that Slash is okay.
Smash is okay.
All right.
I may try to see if I can spot out Luke Band the Star.
Okay, first, Gil, are you gonna be able to continue for the rest of the session, or do you need to call it?
Yeah, I think I need to call it.
Okay. Do you have any problems with us continuing?
No, you guys can go ahead. If you want, just leave me in the barn tinkering, watching over Slash.
Okay. Thanks for trying to stick it out, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Hopefully we'll work something out for Sundays.
Yep.
Yeah.
You will have the video to watch what you may have missed, sir.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yep. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Thanks for coming, Gil.
See.
See if I am recording. And indeed I am.
All right. So, yeah, we're just gonna say Gearstrom is with you guys following.
Hopefully there's no combat.
Whoa. I'm just like trying to imagine Gearstrom not chiming in and speaking.
Slash is okay, yes. The big one is quite alright. He's still a scarecrow. There's no crows in there. I think he's quite alright. He's doing his job quite well.
Rezar, do you want to play? Do you want to play?
I gotta get another beer first. Oh.
All
How
right.
much longer do you want to continue for?
For another hour.
Sounds good.
Okay. Hopefully
Is that
we
it?
level up.
Isn't that our scheduled time?
It is. I could keep going all night, but I don't know if I can keep going all night as Gearstrom. Rezar is
All right. So what do you guys do?
easy.
Yeah.
I suppose we should meet that appointment.
So
So-
we head that way.
yeah.
Well, do I spot Luke Bandastar? Because he's the one that's gonna.
Well, I mean,
He was going to
You
introduce.
could probably find him if you want to spend, 5-10
Well-
minutes looking for him.
Well, we're here at the farm. We have an appointment in about 45 minutes with Lord Zarl.
Yeah, I mean,
who
he
is
said
going
he
to accompany
he said
us.
he would
So,
he said he would meet you at the bridge. Remember?
so
So as far as you know, he might not even be here. He might have already left.
That's true. It's about a 30
yeah, I
minute
guess
walk.
I would do like a cursory glance to see if I find if I spot him out. But if
Yeah,
not, just head.
you don't see him outside of any structures.
Yeah, just follow the road back up the way
Tyler,
that
quick
I
question.
went
Did you
before.
plan for this gnome to go through here at the moment that Luke wouldn't be here to notice him galloping by his farm? Or is this just unbelievable coincidence?
He trotted through the farm and then galloped.
Still,
Rounded
it's
up.
just the timing here is perfect that Luke wouldn't be here to see the guy we're chasing through his farm. Just really good story, right? Good storytelling. God, it was so good. So good.
This is how it turned out, man.
Hell yeah. I like it.
Can only plan so much.
Nice. All right, well.
But yes, you would gather that the trotting through the farm area was to avoid suspicion as best as he could.
All right, so I suppose, yep.
But you could look for workers or anything like that if you wanted to. It would still take you a few minutes, and you think it would already be kind of pushing it to get to the bridge.
Yeah, we already know like which way he went, so it doesn't really make much difference to ask. What would we ask? Which way did he go? Like,
yeah, I just didn't know if you had anything anything else you wanted to ask.
did anyone kill him on the way out?
And the horses keep running? Yeah, that's what happened.
You don't think anybody killed him?
We're making our way to the bridge.
Probably because of the lack of body.
Eh.
I imagine a door or a gnome would have to hold on pretty tightly on a horse.
You know what? Right about here, before you leave the area, Rezar, why don't you roll me... Why don't Valana and Rezar, both of you guys, roll perception check. Valana,
I rolled a fucking 3, dude.
you find a small bone chip right here.
What is that?
Exactly my thoughts.
I pick it up and inspect it.
It's an old bone chip.
It's an old bone chip. I turn it over.
More old bone chip.
Still an old bone chip.
Your skin is quite soft. I wonder why he likes it so much.
You know what? Don't do that.
Perhaps he would like to wear it. Although I think Rezar would make a better coat. His skin is much thicker. Yes.
I think I'll continue wearing it instead.
You're going to wear Rezar's skin? I think he would like to have it. It is his after all. It might be a little hard to get off his body.
Let's get to that meeting.
So which way do you guys want to go to get to the bridge?
Up
Just
this
north.
way, and
Yeah.
then that way, and then here, and then maybe to the bridge there.
Okay.
I wouldn't know the path, but I'll just follow her.
So you arrive about 4:50.
I mean, we don't want to go here because that'd be wet.
I mean, I didn't know if you wanted to go like through the uncharted areas or anything.
I mean, you know what? We're gonna go here, and then I'm gonna pass through here because I would like to see the rest of the town.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of observing things.
So you must like Far Cry because you experience for every location you discover.
It's pretty cool.
It is nice.
It's a good feature.
So you just you head across and yeah.
I hate when that happens.
Same, dude. Hey!
We
Nothing out of the
walked into
ordinary.
the trees a little bit.
And you reach the bridge at about 4:50.
Kirsten saw a bird.
So you guys have about 10 minutes before Luke said he'd be there.
He's not there?
But after about 3 minutes, you see him walking up from this direction.
Ooh, I don't trust that direction.
And he's like,
He's doing his rounds.
well, this is Luke, not
Oh.
Zarl.
Yeah,
All right.
Lord
He
Greg.
walks up and he's like, well, hey, fellers and lady. So you guys met me here just like we planned.
Yes, we did.
You ready to go talk to Lord Zarl?
Hmm.
Or at least try to?
I believe we'll get the audience we seek.
All right. Follow me. And then he leads you up, and you go to this building right here. And there's a guard posted outside. He sees Luke, and just like, oh, hey, Luke. And Luke's like, hey, Dave. And just opens the door, and you all just walk right on in.
Luke Bannistar is probably my favorite character.
You're
And
welcome.
once you're inside, you're in like a foyer, foyer, however you want to say it.
It's only a foyer if you're fancy.
And
Look, Bannistar, it's a foyer.
there's
There's a fire!
There's a large desk-like area kind of built into the corner of the room, and behind it you see this man. And he looks up at you, and he says, hello, what do you need?
Is it just me?
Says-
I'm sorry.
And he's like, oh, hey, Luke. Luke's like, says, hey there, Mr. Grant.
I don't know.
What were you saying, Rezar?
He looks exactly like Harry Potter's uncle. Hold on. Like, just look at it. It's in the general chat now. like a ginger version.
It's definitely pretty close.
Jeez. Anyway, sorry.
All right. Luke says to Mr. Grant, Mr. Grant, these fine souls are here to have an Lord Zarl. Is there any way you could accompany them? I'll vet for them. They help me out. And Mr. Grant says, I don't think Mr. Zarl has time, or he would say Lord. I don't think Lord Zarl has time today to see anybody, especially
Tree bark.
outsiders. And so what was that?
Tree bark.
You just say tree bark out loud?
Yep.
This isn't the card.
Mr. Grant says, what was that?
Just something I heard. I believe he's expecting us.
There are no trees here. Why would you say tree bark? This is fine wood. There's no bark on these trees.
Who did you hear that from?
I believe we're expected.
And he gets up, he walks around to the corridor, heads down the hallway, and he's gone for about a minute or so. Luke looks at you guys and he's like, you guys just keep on surprising me. What the hell does tree bark mean?
Well, you see, bark, it grows on trees. And trees have tree bark.
And about this time, Mr. Grant comes back out and he's like, "Alrighty, just head on
That's
back."
hard, Gil. I'm sorry, okay? I'm not as good as you.
And yeah, so you guys walk down the hallway. Luke bids you farewell, and you see a large set of double doors at the end of the hallway.
Before we depart, I turn to Luke and I just say, "Thank you."
Luke says, "No problem there. You guys, like I said, you guys help me out. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours."
Gnomes are such nice creatures. Why would you want to behead me? The elders made me a head. I don't know if they can make me a new head. Or maybe I'll get a mechanical body instead. Yes.
I just think to myself, it's nice to actually interact with a man who's not fucking creepy all the time.
I'm sure this place has fine ale.
Alright, so as you approach the double doors, they open before you. You see the large, imposing, armored figure that you saw earlier, Valana. He opens the door, and he just steps back and allows you guys to enter. And you see, it's like a large study. Bookcases about the walls, fireplace, glowing, dark mahogany wood, very nice, a very nice room. And like I said, the back wall, large desk, and there sits Lord Zarl. And when you enter, he stands up and he says, "Please, please, come, sit." And there's like two benches, soft, cushiony benches, like very high, high level, expensive furniture.
I approach and sit down on the bench. And I imagine Gerstrom goes to examine the books. And probably Eldrick as well. I'm not playing Eldrick, sorry.
Eldrick walks over and sits down on the benches as well. Alana?
Definitely admiring the library before me, but I do go and I sit.
Okay. Yeah, and just for the sake of it, I'll say Gerstrom sits as well, but he's like, he's gripping his pants. Yeah. So you all sit, and Lord Zarl says he puts his hands together, and he leans over, and says, "Well, speak."
Wolf.
I'm gonna be honest, out of character, I have no idea what we're talking to him about. Well, let me look through the notes real quick.
Yep. I was sitting there thinking, what would Gerstrom say? What would I say? I'm like, I don't have to worry about the plot line because Eldrick and Valana take care of that for me. Well, I know there's a hunting party up north, but that was like, that's just the bullshit. Not a bullshit mission, but that's not the important part. It's that note we got. We had to talk to Zarl about the Shadow Man. SpaghettiOs.
Damn, man. I hate that I have to take the lead on all this.
Here's saying on the culprit orcs nature. There's orcs.
So as you sit there, he looks about all of you, and you see his facial reaction change slightly as he sees the symbol on all of your hands. And he says,
No, that's not important.
"Sir Zillion, please leave us." And the large man just nods and heads out the door, closes it behind him.
Of course, I'll go.
Do you know what you want to ask him yet?
Uh,
There's a
hang on.
source of malevolence. The dark plague.
So I believe we have several points to bring up with you. This one here, and I point towards Rezar, would like to assist you with your trade route problem, I'm sure. And a man named Richetti, I believe, mentioned you. Oh no, it was on the letter, wasn't it?
Yeah, the letter he gave us.
Do we have that letter still?
I don't know, do you?
I imagine either Villano or Eldrick have it.
Do you know anything about a great gear? And I show my hand to him, like hold it up, like I don't know where this came from, but it was kind of surprised.
So when you say does he know anything about the Great Gear, this is what he does. No, I've never heard of the Great Gear.
Why are you nodding? I woke up with a strange mark on my hand in the shape of a gear, and then a strange man talked to us. Why are you nodding while saying no? Does that mean no where you come from?
I just reach over and like cover his mouth. I understand.
What was your other question?
Just bringing up the trade route problem that he had.
I love it. The walls have
Bringing up how, like, what are you asking about it? Particularly?
Just mentioning that we would probably be willing to assist with it, or at least Rezar would.
Okay, about this time he grabs his glove on his right hand and he pulls it up a little bit. You guys see that he has a very similar mark to yours. And he stands up and walks around to the front of his desk, kind of leans up against it, and just goes into detail as far as like the fact that the town, I'm going to say this normally because I don't want to voice act for all this. The town is basically it's like a python is squeezing it, right? I mean, the trade route in the north was one of the primary sources of income, the town's economy, and while there is some still some merchants using the ships, most of the goods that come into the port are meant to head north up the trade trail. So many of the ships are not even docking here anymore, not even bringing in merchandise. So he goes on to say that he suggested that Luke put out a missive because they don't have the manpower or the means or they can't pay hardly any of the militia to do anything extra like they used to could, because there's the cash flow is just disappearing, and yeah, so you guys gather that the whatever the issue is to the north, it's really causing the village to hurt, and he says that he's lost. He's contracted hunting parties to go to the north to try to figure out and solve this issue. And several times,
they failed.
Several times, there's been horses that have been ridden back with strings of heads on the saddle, and yeah, it's been very unsuccessful so far. And it says that all he knows about it is that it must be orcs and goblins or some combination thereof. They're just simply held up somewhere in the woods, and they're, um, I mean, they're preventing anybody from going through without a fight, at least.
No.
And he says he doesn't know what the goal of this occupation is, because they've never been down this far. The orcs stay to the north, and to the northwest of Blackheart Mountain for the most part. So he doesn't really in Blackheart. He goes on to say that Blackheart, the center of the continent,
Black
and
Continent.
so normally the orcs are a really long way away from. And he doesn't understand why they would come down, and he hasn't been able to figure it out up to this point.
Of course your parties have failed. You've been sending men to do an orc's job. Luckily for you, we are not mere men. We have a woman. That was so dumb. I'm sorry.
I
He-
loved it.
He almost smiles, but he doesn't, because this situation is very grave and serious. He's in charge of the town, and he's in charge of everybody that's died. So you can understand that he's probably has a heavy heart about the whole situation. It's hard for him to joke about it.
The bad part is I wasn't joking when I said that. Like, my character was serious. I don't know. Hold on. I can handle this problem. I long for a challenge worth my time, and I've yet to find it.
We'd be glad to help, but before that, is there any light you could shed on this issue? And as I say that, I'm like sliding the letter from the gear onto his desk in front of him.
Yes, orcs, goblins. What kind of orcs are they? Are they big and mean like this
My
one?
hand goes back to his mouth. Shut him the fuck up.
So he doesn't even read the letter. He just glances at it, and you can tell that he recognizes the parchment and the handwriting. She just pushes it back to you, and he says, what would he say? So you're looking for, what are you looking for?
Just any information regarding the organization, or
He says, all I can tell you, and I guess he would have asked your name earlier whenever you helped his daughter. So he says, all I can tell you, Valana, is that I will help you accomplish your goals here to the best of my ability. But due to the situation our town is in, we are running low on all different kinds of supplies. The people are borderline poverty and starving in some areas, and it's working its way up the chain. I would say if this continues, in another 3 to 4 months, there'll be unrest and riots, and this village might completely fall.
outside of this, we don't really know what our goals are.
He says that he doesn't. He says there's no magic. He has no magic items that would assist you or help you. He says that the healing potion reserve that he did have has been used up on dark workers and child injuries the last month or two, and the supply is so broken they haven't replenished their healing potions, so they don't even have any spare healing potions. They literally their resources are very, very slim. He goes on to say, all I can do is tell you to speak to Sir Aurelian. He will not leave the town, but he might allow one of the guard captains to accompany you on your endeavors for assistance. I hear they're both very competent when it comes to battle.
Zerillion sounds like a coward to me.
Sir Rillian is a member of the Imperial Knights. He has his orders from the king he must follow. The king forbids him to leave the city. Or when he does, the orcs could strike and fell the city in one swoop, for all we know.
That's fair. Yep. Okay.
One last thing, and I don't expect you to have the answers, but I feel inclined to ask. We recently encountered a strange gnomish creature at the inn, and I pull out the picture and I show it to him. He seems to be obsessed. He left the town on the south road. I was hoping maybe you knew the name, perhaps anything about him.
He looks at the picture and he says, "What's the name?"
That's just Clint Plinkerton. Yes, he is a gnome like me. Well, not like me. He seems a bit evil. I don't know why he would like Volano so much. The orc skin is much better to wear for defense.
So, he says, "I don't know anything about a gnomes. I don't. We get strange characters coming in here from the shipyard all the time. Now that people are in a hard spot, it seems like more and more unsavory characters are appearing every day. As far as the South Road, that only leads one place: the abandoned Tranquil Keep."
So that's where our gnome went.
One problem at a time.
Let's see here.
I look around the room and I say, is there any possibility we could get access to your library at some point? There are some manners I would like to look into.
Yeah, he looks like he's deep in thought. Um, and he says, "Well, this isn't the town's library. This is just my study. There's a whole building around the corner that's the actual library. Or it's not necessarily public, but there's many more books there than there are here in my study. These books apply mostly to economy, politics, things of that nature."
Boring.
Is there any chance we could get access to this library, though?
Sure. The library has been formed and upheld there for ever since the settlement here was established nearly 200 years ago. And he says, which brings me to the information that Tringle Keep was supposed to be the very first stronghold on this lower peninsula some 200 years ago. Just before the planned expansion of the area began and a town was to be built there, the keep was ambushed. There were no survivors, and other settlers were, should I say, reluctant to try to reestablish in the area. The king at the time could not justify sending a large contingency to that area for whatever reason. Rumor has it that the bodies weren't even buried because everybody feared they would lose their lives too if they ventured into the area. They say that the top 2 floors of the keep were obliterated, and some of the bodies were charred.
Fuck, dude.
But that's all I know.
Okay, well. Do you have any more questions, Volano?
That's all I had to ask. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us.
We will take care of your trade
Odds.
problem.
And he says, well, considering your foundation, I believe you can. He just kind of like points to his hand. So apparently your symbols hold a lot of weight.
I'm gonna go ahead and be completely honest here. When he said your foundation, I thought he meant my size, and I'm like, yeah, of course I can.
I thought he meant finding his daughter's cat.
That's great. So,
All right. So he uncrosses his arms and he puts them on the desk, and he's like, "Will there be anything else?"
do you have any ale?
He says, "We have some wine here, but I really don't have time to drink. You might think this as a surprise, but it takes a lot of mental effort to run a village."
I don't know about that. Doesn't take much mental effort for me to do anything. I guess I'm smarter than you, sir.
I just look at him and I say thank you and make my way out of the room.
All right. So as you guys all exit, you go back to the foyer and you see Mr. Grant over in the corner. He's just like grumbling and mumbling when you exit.
Maybe you need to see a doctor. It sounds like you might have some kind of cough.
He just ignores Gearstrom.
Who was the guard? I don't remember the name. It was Sir.
You mean the Imperial Knight?
Is that the one he gave us the name of?
Yeah, Sir Rillian.
Cerulean. I guess we would talk to him about the assistance or whatever.
Okay, Sir Rillian is in the. Actually, you don't know where he's at. You could ask Mr. Grant as you exit if he knows if he's seen where you.
So he didn't go back to standing guard at the door or whatever.
He just all you know is he went outside and closed the door behind him.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I would inquire with Sir Grant.
Mr. Grant just says, I don't keep track of Sir Rillian, but he's probably in the barracks." Yep.
I leave.
Okay.
Do we know where the barracks is?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just pointed to it.
Okay. So I guess we go to the barracks and look for Cerulean.
Yeah, so you go over to the barracks and there's two militia at the front of the barracks.
Militia.
And they stop you and say, "Oi! What business do you have here?"
Tree bark.
They look at you like you're retarded, Gearstrom.
But
As he
worked last
blurts it out,
time.
I sigh and just like face palm a little bit. We're looking for Cerulean.
They look at each other and they're like, "Eh." And they open the door and they say, "Sir Rillian, you have visitors." And then you hear doof, 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 footsteps coming to the door. It opens and Sir Rillian steps outside, looking you all up and down, expectantly.
Lord Zarl told us perhaps you could offer us some assistance. in regards to the trade route and another issue or matter, and I just kind of like raise my weird gear hand and kind of scratch my chin. Exactly like that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I see. Walk with me. And he starts walking down the path away from the barracks.
I follow.
I cannot leave this village. I have my orders. However,
I'm sure.
what's that?
I'm sure.
I don't know what you said, but it's under.
Oh, I said I'm
He
sure.
said I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I have my orders. However, I could take up the post of one of my 2 guard captains if you need help solving this village's problems.
I believe we may head down south first. We haven't discussed it yet, but it seems the most immediate of our attentions.
Oh, right, the gnome. Yeah.
I don't exactly know how this borrowing of your guard captain would go, I suppose.
Well, there are 2 guard captains, as I said. One is Captain Strongarm. He's a dwarf. He's very sturdy, strong. The second is Captain Blitzarrow.
I love this choose your follower.
That's a fucking dwarf, dude. You kidding me? God, I'm just like thinking back to my days with Alehammer or unnamed dwarf man that is not named for reasons of characters. But I was like, yeah, I'm going with the dwarf, dude. We're gonna drink and speak in Elvish. It's gonna be, or not Elvish.
Speaking Elvish.
We're gonna speak in Dwarvish. And have a great old time hunting down a gnome and murdering it in cold blood. Yeah, sounds like a fine evening for a Resurrog.
Captain Blitzarrow is known for his nature and survival
Arrows?
skills.
And ability to blitz.
He's very nimble and is good with a bow.
Surprising.
Which would
I'm also good with a bow. Yes, I have many arrows. I'm actually working on one right now. It can shoot. Oh, actually, no. That's top secret. I can't talk about that yet. No.
You
Yes.
do that so well.
It's because I really thought that was going to be my character, a blubbering, drunken idiot. And then Gil took it, and I'm like, oh, I can be the strong, stoic type who doesn't have to speak much. So much easier. Yeah, I'm definitely in favor.
Now you get to be both.
And now I get to be both, and I'm having so much fun. But no, I definitely prefer the dwarf. I could use another tanky man to help me. We have plenty of ranged characters. Fuck the nimble stealth nature dude. Like, I'm nature dude, okay? Try to take my spotlight.
Yeah, so I guess Rezar would just be like, the dwarf! And then that's that.
I'm gonna speak it in Dwarvish though, because I'm cool like that.
I'm gonna understand it in Dwarvish.
Hell yeah!
He wants the dwarf.
Okay, second.
Actually, if he has pictures, we should see them first. It could change my
Oh, yeah.
my entire mind if
He's not going to describe to you or out of character.
Oh, man.
In character or any you're going to have to meet him.
Yerstrom says, can you draw them? I would like to see them.
He doesn't even respond. Let's see here. Oh, it's down here. That's right.
So when you were like holding your hand up earlier, showing the symbol and scratching your chin, I'm imagining Gearstrom's hand just scratching his chin, but not. It's like sitting on his shoulder, just going.
Damn it! Where the fuck is the information?
This part right here does remind me so much of Diablo 2. Because there were several different, I don't remember what they're called. There's people you could hire, mercenaries, that's what they're called. Mercenaries to accompany you. And they had different things, like one was tankier, one was better with range. It's a very fun part. I like this a lot.
Alright, so, he just says, if you want Captain Strongarm, find him in the barracks. He oversees most of the town, while Captain Blitzarrow oversees the dock area.
Yeah, cool, because we're already here anyway. We can just go back to the,
Sorry, where did the strong arm?
in the barracks.
Okay.
Yeah, basically he just says that Strongarm's in the barracks and that his duty is overseeing most of the town, and Blitzarrow's duty is overseeing most of the dock area.
Okay.
And he just says, although I will have to speak with him, I would say if you're ready to set out on an adventure, come back in the morning. He'll be ready.
Dope. That's exactly what I wanted.
Understood. I turn to Rezar and I say, should we maybe look into our gnome issue?
That can wait.
And I look at Gearstrom and the other gnome issue.
That's so funny. Yes, I gotta take back my reaction to that.
It's only like 5, right? Or 5 or 6 p.m. thereabouts.
It's the sun's getting low. It's
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you guys probably want to, by the time you get back to the tavern, it'll be close to dusk or dusk-ish.
Look into our gnome problem. We both just look at Gears. What, me? I'm not a problem here, no. Yeah, this would be a really good time to like just go back to the inn and rest. And most importantly, level up!
So, is that what you do?
Yeah, we go back to the inn.
Yep.
Alright. So, as you guys are walking back to the inn, Eldrick's just like, oh, Looks like his brain's about to burst the whole time, just going over whatever it is Eldrick goes over in his head.
Thinking about all those books he could read about the very interesting study of politics and economics.
You were surprisingly quiet during all that, Eldrick.
Yeah, well, I know when to keep my mouth shut.
Do you?
And you guys arrive back at the tavern, and it's about dark.
Time's really speeding up.
You know that tomorrow might hold a lot of danger.
I found my bottle opener.
So
it's in my box.
5
yes.
extra hit points
It was
will help.
Yes.
you could you could definitely stay up as late as you want, but it might behoove you to get a full night's rest.
Yeah, I'm going straight to bed.
I'm sitting here thinking, well, I feel quite drunk enough to go to bed.
Actually,
But then wait, Rezar hasn't drank in a while. He's going to stay up at the bar and drink a few before going to a long night of rest without being disturbed by anyone. Right, Alana?
I'm gonna drink an ale with Rezar.
All right.
Oh shit!
So you two have a nice mug of fish ale.
Oh, this is disgusting.
It's titillating to the senses. You can almost taste the scales as it pours down your throat, Valana.
Hold on.
You look at Rezar like, how do you do this?
I'm just kind of hoping that it gets me really drunk, because I've had a rough day.
Okay, roll a Constitution check.
Check or saving throw?
Check.
You rolled a 1! Hold on, real quick. How do I add something? Do I have that right and watch together?
Oh, I actually haven't heard anything from that in a while.
Nothing's playing right now.
I didn't think so.
So, yeah, you start to feel a little bit woozy, and probably look over at Rezar, and you probably tell him, you know, it's about time for you to turn in.
Yeah. Good night, Rezar.
This is playing in my head right now. Did you get my message?
Yes, it did.
Do it. Do it.
Oh god, I'm not playing that. Okay, so Valana goes upstairs to bed. Rezar, what do you do?
I drink a few. Oh, shit. I drink a few more, and then I also go to bed.
All right, and as soon as you guys get back to the inn, Eldrick immediately retired, and Gilstrom went back to whatever he was doing, tinkering away in his room. So you guys are all trying to get some rest, and Alana and Rezar, you both eventually drift off to sleep.
Time for fun dreams.
You're putting the pussy on a pedestal, bro. You're putting the pussy on a pedestal.
Wait, can you hear me right now?
And
Wait.
well, wait, make sure you're not muted.
I thought you could hear me.
I can now.
Okay, did you hear what I just said? Because you just said.
No, we missed what you said.
Okay, you weren't supposed to hear it. I said, time for the dreams. And you said you're putting the pussy on the pedestal. I'm like, wait, you heard me?
Oh, it's pretty obvious the way you're acting.
Okay, fine. Shh. Dream
Okay.
time.
So, yeah. Rezar.
It's bear time.
Are you ready?
I am. Fist me, daddy.
I can't see your face. I'm assuming you said yes.
I did. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Okay, I said yes.
Okay.
Music.
Enveloped in darkness, you can feel your heartbeat. Thud. There's a pause. Thud. Wait. It's not coming from your body. It's a war drum sounding from within the darkness. Every pulse giving rise to more sight, as if a fire is raging stronger and brighter. You now have enough light to see that you are standing in the heart of a forest as the moonlight cascades through the treetops. Breathing heavily and weaponless. What were you doing? A roar echoes from behind you. That's right. You were running from a massive bear, almost the size of a rhino. Sprinting again, limbs slapping against your bare skin, try to put distance between yourself and the beast. You hear its paws pounding the earth closer and closer to your rear. You can't escape. You can't best it without weapons either. What can you do? You slide to a stop and swing around prepared for your last battle. You hear trees being felled just out of eyeshot as the sheer size of this beast is mowing down everything in its path. Then, it bursts into view out of the heavy foliage about 20 feet away. As it now sees you clearly, it rears up on its hind legs, its head stretching to the treetops, some 20 feet upward. As it comes back down, the landing causes a small tremor and your knees buckle inward. But you do not fall. Do not falter, even with the jaws of death gnashing at you as it slowly closes in. The great bear is now upon you, head nearly the size of your entire body. It sniffs at you, creating a small vortex of wind. You hear these words in your head. Our destinies are intertwined, but don't think for a second that I won't devour you if your resolve fades. Believe in yourself, believe in me, and believe in survival. The spirit warrior does not throw his life away in vain. We shall be a juggernaut upon this land and bring our enemies to their knee. Remember, my power is a blessing, not a guarantee. As he brings his paw down, smashing you into the ground face first. You feel pain everywhere. He begins to jump atop you with his front paws, smashing you into the earth. Each slam feeling lighter than the last. Before you know it, the slams end. You have a chance to look around, see that you're at the bottom of a small crater created by this beast's power. You stand, feeling hardy as a mountain. You hear a voice. We are one. For now. As you step out of the crater, you feel larger, much larger. Your muscles pulse with strength. Your flesh feels hard as stone. You let out a battle cry, and it sounds as if the great bear is roaring with you in unison. A thunderous duet bellowing. There you go.
That was great, dude. That was great. Hell yeah.
Lana.
Terror's gonna be so stupid.
Hard to follow that act.
Exactly what I was thinking, dude.
Did you guys like it?
That was fucking great, dude.
That was badass.
I can't wait for the fucking video either. It's gonna be so good.
All right, Lana.
I also really have to pee. Don't tell them that, though.
Floating. You're above Port Zarl as the moon hangs triumphantly overhead. Your vision focuses on the Bannister's barn, where Slash is recuperating. Your consciousness drifts there, underneath the thatched roof, hovering 20 feet above Slash. You hear the clawing and ripping of something feverishly trying to break into this plane, coming from the shadows in the corner. Looking directly at the area, you see nothing. You look at Slash, then out of the corner of your eye, in your peripheral vision, you see something where you could not see it before. You look directly back at the shadowed corner, again seeing nothing. As your vision transitions back to Slash, you now realize that whatever this is cannot be gazed upon, only barely noticed when not focusing on it. Trying your best to avert your gaze, you can see the shadow of shadows pulsing and vibrating so fast that the hay and sand on the ground near it tremble, as if afraid. This thing looks like a dark smudge, completely nondescript. It approaches Slash, and you move your line of sight to keep it within sight view. You cannot act. You watch as you hear pieces of Slash begin to rattle and clang as the dark entity stands before him. A limb-like appendage reaches out towards Slash. You are worried. You don't want to see Slash ended. His plight is already much too sad and desolate. It grabs around Slash's neck, and you hear the word, joined. You are sucked back, away from the barn, away from the farm, back to your in-room. You awaken in a cold sweat. As you reach for your heart, you shiver. The amulet left with Slash now rests innocently around your neck. But you notice it is cold, like the grass of a frozen night just before the sun rises. Looking down at it, you feel this cold void enter your eyes themselves. Feel a sensation like bees buzzing in the back of your eyeballs until finally it settles. Feel that some new power has adorned your sight. To what effect? Do not yet know.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking good, dude. That was pretty.
That gave me
good.
fucking chills.
I did.
Damn.
Yeah, it really did me too. God, I was trying to act it out in lieu of your camera, and it really helped. But Jesus, that was a great story, dude. It's so dark and mysterious, completely unlike mine. Mine was just like a battle, and it was all intense. Yours was just, what the fuck's going on? Very cool.
And it's pretty much 1 o'clock Eastern.
Oh yeah, that was great timing. I imagine you could tell the others their dreams later. Very good.
Well, only you guys had dreams tonight.
Oh, get wrecked, nerds! Ha ha! That's cool. We're both here.
Everybody will have their time.
Hell
You guys
yeah.
had your time tonight.
We're fast bloomers, whatever it is. That's the end of the session, then, yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
that is the end of the session.
I'm gonna end the recording.
Oh man.
Bye, guys. See you next time.